up with the cell phones up like this and say, don't forget them, don't forget them, don't forget them, don't forget them.
What up guys, Ali here and welcome to Ali Talks Music. Add me on Instagram at Ali Talks Music as well. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now let's get into the video. Now before Consequence joined Kanye West's Good Music around 2005, the label had a bunch of heavy hitters like John Legend, Common, Tony Williams, and GLC. The label had produced some fire albums such as John Legend's Get Lifted and Be by Common. And both bodies of work had a minimum of a gold certification by the RIAA. The record label had hits everyone was singing to, so when Consequence got signed to the label, he knew that he was joining a label that has made itself a force to be reckoned with in the music scene.
Son, I'm real on the street than I am on wax. So if you see me in New York, you see me making my stack. Before you press start, better know what team you running with. It's tumbling. Go hard for a yard and never fumbling.
Consequence, aka Dexter Raymond Mills Jr., a rapper from Queens, was born around 1977. He got into the music industry around 1996 when he appeared several times on the fourth album of A Tribe Called Quest, Beats, Rhymes, and Life through the influence of his cousin Q-Tip, who was a member of the group.
Tip is, what, maybe 6 years older than me.
Okay.
So my cousin, Duke L. DeVal Turner, him and Tip were really tight in the street. You know, my cousin, he was in the streets hard. Like, we all are from 192, which is basic. It's ironic, I named my label 192 Records. But we're all from 192, and that's where they shot Check the Rhyme. So if you ever watch Check the Rhyme and they on top of that Cleaners, like I said, I made a name for myself on 192 and then on Linda Boulevard, rapping, being outside, 1, 2, and 3, and I actually had battled Run from Run DMC one night and did really well.
That just randomly happened?
It just really randomly happened. He jumped out of 190E, and he's run. It was myself, another MC named Spank G, who was really nice at the time. Mr. Cheeks from the Lost Boys, who was Co-Cheeks at the time. There's a few people up there. Rumpelstiltskin and Busta Rhymes was up there. So, we all was just boom, 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 and, word got back to Tip that I did my thing, you know what I mean? And so he began to take more and more interest in what I did.
Then he was signed to Elektra Records and recorded several tracks with the label that was supposed to come out around 2000, but they never saw the light of day. Kanye West heard of the rapper and featured him in his song Spaceships off his debut album The College Dropout around 2004, and also Gone from the next album.
I've been working in spaceships and I ain't made shit.
Kanye consequently signed Consequence around 2005, and it felt like a match made in heaven. One of Consequence's biggest hits has to be the single which featured Kanye West and John Legend called Whatever You Want, released around 2005.
You and your goods can finally get live. I'ma need you to turn the lights down. Whatever gonna happen right now. Do whatever you want.
Despite being a talented artist, respected by Kanye himself and other icons of the music industry, Consequence only ever released one album and a host of mixtapes. So the million-dollar question is, what happened to Consequence? Now, Consequence joined Good Music with a truckload of songs from his time at his previous label and was quick to hit the ground running, dropping his debut album titled Don't Quit Your Day Job around 2007.
How'd I get stuck in this dead-end job when I could rap? But of course my bill collectors, they ain't trying to hear that.
It was released in collaboration with Columbia Records and sold about 7,400 copies in the first week. Consequence was so sure about this album that he offered to give a refund to anyone who purchased the album and didn't like any track on it. With songs like Grammy Family, which featured DJ Khaled, Kanye West, and John Legend, and was also included in DJ Khaled's debut album, Listen the Album, and with songs like Good, the Bad, the Ugly featuring Kanye West and Feel This Way with John Legend, it's hard not to see why Consequence offered this deal to the fans. Interestingly enough, Kanye produced The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, a song that speaks on the good and the bad aspects of life in the ghetto. Now overall the album was a flop and didn't do the numbers that Consequence thought it would do. Now before joining Good Music, Consequence had been in the game since around 1996. He went on to drop mixtapes such as The Cons Volume 1, The Cons Volume 2, and Take Him to the Cleaners. So when Consequence joined Good Music around 2005, a lot of people thought he was going to take off musically. However, there were problems ahead for Consequence. After spending 6 years at Good Music Records, Consequence left on bad terms, following a pretty messy rift with label owner Kanye West, but more on this in a bit. He then went on to start his own record label, but failed to live up to the potential he showed when he joined Good Music. Consequence went from co-writing 4 songs on Kanye West's 808s and Heartbreak, which includes the hit single Amazing.
It's amazing, I'm the reason.
To distancing himself from Good Music and becoming his own artist, and that's something that hurt his career in the long run. After he left Good Music, Consequence planned to release a second studio album with the title Start Your Own Business, but it is yet to come out of the pipeline. The man then went on to drop more mixtapes such as the Khan's Mixtape series and Movies on Demand, amongst others. Consequence's next big break came when he joined Love and Hip Hop New York around 2013, but we'll talk more about this in a minute. Now, Consequence is a man that never shied away from controversy. He got into trouble several times with other artists, even those within his then label. What he lacked in album releases, he made up for in beef. Consequence had beef with a lot of rappers in the rap game, from Joe Budden to Kanye West to Jay-Z to Pusha T to Big Sean to Mal and Rory. Let's start talking about them. For starters, one of his biggest beefs is with the man that signed him, Kanye West. According to Consequence, Kanye is the reason that his second album did not come out under Good Music, and Kanye made things worse when he didn't show up for Consequence's baby shower, or at least send a gift to show support. So when Consequence and his wife Jen the Pen won the Breakfast Club around 2013, they took turns criticizing Kanye. According to Jen, Kanye West was allegedly having an affair with Kim Kardashian when she was with Reggie Bush, and that he'd frequently call Consequence for advice on the matter. Consequence then said he had several difficulties with Kanye West and believed most of Kanye's success was based on his contributions and his swag.
What's your relationship like with Kanye now?
Kanye's probably planning his baby shower. I don't,
Y'all haven't spoke anything?
Nah.
You gonna say, I guess you're not gonna send him a gift?
Did he send us a gift? No.
Okay.
Did not send a gift. Is that not tacky? Is it not tacky? The man was friends with him.
Why
Let her go.
The man was friends with him
baby.
for how many years? How many years? They're falling out. It was never that. There I go again.
That's okay, okay.
It was never that big where you couldn't say, you know what, you were my friend for 10 years, 12 years. Let me send something. You're having your first child. Cuz is not out here with running around with a million different kids and a million different baby mothers. No. He had one child. We had one baby shower. He couldn't send something. He couldn't get our address. I'm sure he has it.
Tacky.
When he was Kim, when Kim was with Reggie, you know whose secret that was? That was our secret.
Oh, okay.
When the rest of the world didn't know. No one blew up his spot. He had his back every night that man called. What do I do? What do I do about, about Kim? I need to be with her. I want to be with her. This, that, and the third. That secret was in my home.
Yeah, not anymore.
However, Kanye and Consequence later squashed their beef and went back to being bros. Now, another artist he took issue with was none other than Pusha T. Consequence called Pusha T a body shield, one that was protecting Kanye from beef with other artists. Khan then accused Pusha T of stealing his lines, and then had some lines in a diss track aimed at Pusha T. On the Plagiarist Society, Consequence raps.
That it's time to expire. Yeah, meaning it's time to retire, cause you never get a trophy. Playing for the Steelers, they steal niggas' lines, steal niggas' flows. 40 million in, still a nigga old.
Later, when Pusha T was asked about the diss track on radio, he responded by saying he's not going to react to it and hoped that it would blow over because he has no issues with Consequence. Now, Pusha T did have some disparaging remarks for Consequence, saying that Consequence's teeth were bought by Kanye West.
If you could say anything to Consequence, what would you tell him?
I wouldn't say shit to him. I wouldn't talk to nobody like him. You crazy?
Right. Consequence say you stole his style, and he need 5 minutes with Kanye, man.
I'll take 5 minutes, straight up and down, I'll take 5 minutes.
Maybe a Pusha or a Big Sean.
It don't
say
bother me,
something
them
slick.
niggas is pussy.
In essence, Pusha T thought that Consequence should be grateful for the opportunity Kanye gave him, as he would be in a much worse state without Kanye. Now, another rapper Khan had issues with was Joe Budden. Now, Consequence and Joe Budden have been at odds for a while, but the height of it happened when the pair traded not just insults, but blows on Love and Hip Hop. According to Khan, the pair had 2 altercations, both of which turned physical. This is what Khan had to say on Twitter. Just smacked the shit out of Joe Budden at the Love and Hip Hop reunion. Everybody have a nice day. Then Joe Budden said this. During break, Tahiri and I were headed outside to smoke. Dude came behind, jumped and hit me as I'm walking away. Tahiri snuffs him, he runs. It was the most pussy display ever seen from a nigga, to be quite honest. And it's all on tape, so y'all can see the pussy shit for yourself. Yo, at cons, you good? Or nah? Hope son aight. I was headed home and seen dude talking to police when Jen was crying. Dude was so quick to tweet about that sucker punch. Not so much now. Then Consequence replied with the following. Cons, you pressing charges? Absolutely not. Actually, I laughed at that. At Joe Budden, y'all hit like bitches. Actually, Tahiri hit me harder, nigga. I told the police that I don't press charges. According to Consequence, when he was trying to hit Joe Budden, he hit Tahiri by mistake, and that's why she decided to retaliate. Fortunately, during an interview with Hip Hop Wired, Consequence said the following. What a difference a year makes. Simply said, the conflict is ended. At Starlets, we mutually crushed everything. We had a chance encounter. It did begin with a stare down, but we ended it with a man-to-man discussion. G-crap is all I can say. Now, despite the rumors of a beef with Jay-Z, Khan went on to say he had no issues with the man and felt privileged to have worked with him. I was very happy to be a part of Jay Encore Z's record. When Kanye West and I were speaking on the phone, we really came up with a chorus that went back and forth. However, fans believe that Consequence must have been offended by the fact that he was not credited by Jay-Z for his input on the track.
For real, shout out to Jay-Z. Cause you wanna know why? Cause Jay-Z got it. When I had it, and since we're gonna let it all out, when I had the baby, Jay-Z made sure, not Kanye, Jay-Z made sure that somebody from Roc Nation called me. I think he might have been on speaker, he might not have been. Yo, you can't wow like that. We will give you bread. You just can't be wilding no more.
Now, Consequence somehow dragged Big Sean into his beef with Kanye West. But according to Big Sean, he was not getting involved in it. Kanye, that situation with him and Consequence, that's way personal. That's not a random dude dissing. That's somebody who was part of the fam, was all in the fam together, and then they had their problems.
Straight like that.
That's that Queen.
I will wash Big Sean up, and Big Sean know I will wash him up.
Now, apart from Joe Budden, Consequence also had issues with Rory and Mal from the Joe Budden podcast. According to Mal, after Joe Budden got attacked by Consequence, Mal sent one of his friends at Consequence, and this resulted in another confrontation. I've gotten Joe out of situations that could have been bad for him. Really bad for him. I frontlined that. Me, when that shit happened with Consequence, my man f***ed on Cons. No disrespect to Cons, but that was my homie. That was my homie that frontlined that. Now, the situation did not end there. According to Consequence, he met Rory at Kanye's Donda listening party and kicked Rory out of the event because of all the things Rory and Mal had said on their podcast. Now, Consequence also had problems with another rapper, this time with his cousin, Q-Tip. Consequence blames Q-Tip and Kanye for his delayed album, ignoring the fact that Q-Tip is the reason he became famous in the first place.
I've never said that I didn't value what Q-Tip did for me. It just got to a point where, you know, I guess that apple in that pig mouth was looking kind of delicious. But we put that to bed, you know what I'm saying? I had to put it to bed with him, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there was instances, you know, there was different things that happened. Like my grandfather died, you know, where Tip's not coming to the funeral. So, you know, life becomes bigger than music in certain instances, you know what I'm saying?
Sadly, around 2020, Consequence was diagnosed with lupus. He explained that he only weighed about 105 pounds and his sugar levels were in the 500s. At the time, he thought he was going to pass away, so he decided to come clean to his fans and to celebrate his son, knowing that he didn't have much time left. The disease pushed the rapper to make significant lifestyle changes and forced him to pay attention to his health. Conclusively, although Consequence's music career was not very fulfilling, it was good to see him reconcile and mend bridges with some of the artists that he beefed with in the past. He's now focused on sharing his wealth of experience in rap, songwriting, music production, and management with the world as he looks to usher in the next generation of superstars. Consequence wants his son to grow up in the music industry, so Little Khan should be making a splash in the media sometime soon. Consequence gets about 350,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and his most popular songs on the platform are The Good, The Bad, The Ugly, Bloodstain, Grammy Family, Don't Forget Him, and Whatever You Want. That's it for me, it's your boy Ali. What happened to Consequence in your opinion? Let me know down below. Video requests, be sure to let me know down below as well. New What Happened 2 video dropping very soon. Also add me on Instagram at Ali Talks Music. Till next time, peace.
Perfect.